a question for you. Are you ready to get your first or next 1,000 Instagram followers? I hope that you are. I gotta admit, it is not as easy as it used to be. Back in the days when you could just simply post a single image on the screen on Instagram and get thousands of followers and engagement and flood of likes and new followers, but it's not impossible. We're going to be discussing the key factor towards growth on Instagram and sharing a few tips we use ourselves to grow our followers and build the community. So let's get into it today as we help you step your gram up on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. And I'm so glad today because we are joined by returning guests. When we were on IG Live, we now made the move to YouTube, and we are now joined by our incredible guest, High Season Co. Welcome, Craig and Tiffany. How are you guys doing?
We are good. Thank
Fantastic.
you so much for having us. Excited to
Yes.
be here.
Nice to be on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Like I
nice to be
said,
on
see the
YouTube.
IG, we're doing them all. I love it. You guys are killing it. You guys
Yeah,
are
we
killing
had to make the move. We had to make the move a little bit. Myself, when I say we, I'm talking about myself and my incredible co-host Megan. How you doing, Megan?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a little fall over here, so I'm making sure we are all set up, but I'm great.
Oh, as in you
Happy
fell?
to be here.
Oh, fall as in you fell or fall
Oh,
as in
no. Like my iPad fell and almost
Oh,
crashed the camera and all the things, but caught it. We're good. Hey, we're
great.
live.
All of the things that goes on when you're happening live. That's one of the fun and interesting things when you're live because you never know what could happen. But
Yeah.
for you guys that are joining in, thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, we're going to be talking about how to help you increase your following. We might be using the term 1,000 followers, or first 1,000 or your next 1,000, but the strategies and tips that we're going to be discussing and sharing with you guys, it can be applied to even more than that. So we hope that you guys are ready to take note. And like I said, nowadays on Instagram, it's harder than ever to grow, but it is not impossible. So thank you guys for joining us on our weekly YouTube live series featuring my co-host Megan and myself. And like I said, we are joined today by High Season Co. We are also moderated in the live chat. I'm watching you guys as well by Angela. IG Live with Angela. She's in the live chat, so show her a little bit of love as well. Be nice, be positive. We want nothing but positive vibes because she has full authority to rule with an iron fist. So please make sure you do not cross her. We want to make sure we're keeping all the positive vibes here going. We're going to get to our topic in a moment. Like I said, we're discussing how to get your first or next 1,000 Instagram followers. But I'm going to give a moment for Tiffany and Craig of High Season Code to introduce themselves. Let them know, or I should say, they will let you know what they do, what they specialize in, and where you can find them. So if Craig or Tiffany, whichever one kind of wants to lead off and introduce yourself.
Want me to?
it. If you go,
Okay,
go
sure.
with the
Um,
elevator.
yes, we're High Season Co. We're a social media agency that's based just outside of Toronto. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary as an agency. Somewhere down the line in the middle of the agency, we really decided, like as the business grew, that we wanted to make sure that we were able to provide something for small businesses and creators as well. So we launched our YouTube channel to deliver free information.
Did my audio go away?
It said it muted us, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good?
I'm
All
here.
right, I hear you now. I hear
Yeah,
you
it
now.
literally just muted. Okay, so I
Where,
can
where
do
did it
the
stop?
where did it stop us?
You're talking about YouTube, starting YouTube for free
Okay, okay.
content.
All right, sweet. So yes, so we started creating free educational content on YouTube that ended up building out like a separate arm to our business, which is really focused on online education and really supporting small business owners and creators with the tools, the resources, the strategies, all the tips that they need to grow and thrive on their own without having to hire an agency. So we kind of have those two sets on the agency side. We've had the opportunity to work with a ton of different brands. We have Meta as a client. Nike, we worked with Nike. We worked with the NBA. We worked with Sony. So we've been on the larger side of it, and we're trying to take all those learnings that we've had and really apply them in a nice package for small business owners, so it doesn't feel overwhelming, and they can just go with it and do it on their own. So that's us, and it's us too originally, and then we grew there. But we're the faces, you could say.
Yeah.
There. You might see Dan sometimes, who's our social media manager, pop in. But yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you both are here. As you guys see on the screen right now, this is a image of their Instagram page. So please make sure you do give them a follow. Check out what they do. They have ton of great content. They are one of the reasons why I have actually shifted to YouTube, because I started following them way back when, and they have been try and true to what they've been doing. They've been giving a lot of great information, and they're just both great two individuals. So I've definitely been inspired by them. I'm so glad to have them here with us, with myself and Meagen. But we are going to get into it. Meagen, please, if you can introduce yourself as well,
Oh,
and let the people know where they can find you and what you do.
wonderful. Well, yes, my name's Meg from Social Media with Meg. You guys can find me here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Threads. And I help small businesses, specifically small businesses who struggle with creating content and or just content creators who are starting to grow their brand on Instagram and need help figuring out how to create more content in less time and be able to reach their ideal audience and learn how to monetize that content that they are creating and spending so much time and putting so much love into, and actually making it profitable for them and having fun on social media.
Yes, let's bring fun back to social media, because it was getting a little dark a little bit, 2024. So thank you so much for that, Meagen. For those that are joining, I am Heston of Social Varsity. I like to say your favorite content creator on live, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. And while I'm not on live, I am busy building chatbots. I specialize in DM automation and many chats. So if you're interested to learn a little bit more about that, please feel free to check out my page as well. And all of our profile or links to our profiles on Instagram, you can find right now in the description at the bottom of this video. But don't go there just yet, because we're going to get into our main conversation to give you guys an idea of how this show is going to work. The format is we're going to have our conversation. I have a couple of questions for Tiffany and Craig, and Meagen and myself are going to jump in and share our thoughts in regards to the topic of how to grow followers on Instagram. But we also have a little bit of a trivia game. Craig and Tiffany have played this before, and we hope that you guys that are watching will enjoy and play along as well. We will be using the poll in the chat, which there is one right now. If you are interested to know what that is, you could go to the poll right now and go ahead and start engaging in the live chat. Find Angela there as well. And then we will, if you have any questions, we will take a couple questions at the end of our conversation. So with all of that out of the way, we got the spirit, we got the introductions out. Are you guys ready, Tiffany and Craig, to get started on this conversation?
We are ready to go.
Let's go.
Awesome. Well, let me lead you guys into the very first question. You guys can decide who answers first, or if you want to kind of do it as a combo. But the first question is all about something that I think a lot of people just don't understand, which is one of the biggest, most valuable key strategies to getting Instagram followers. And it's the term consistency. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but it's true. Without consistency as a part of our content strategy, you'll find it much more difficult to grow. But why is that? I think let's see if we can kind of explore that on our own experiences. So I want to ask the question to High Season. What role does consistency play in gaining followers? And how do you stay consistent with your posting schedule?
Great question. You are right, though. Consistency is everything. I feel like when people ask us in the comments and we sort of respond back, whether it's Instagram or on YouTube, about consistency, like what are the most important things you can do? It's almost like it almost sounds generic, but it's arguably the most important thing. If and the quickest, I think this personally, I'll see what you guys all think, but basically the importance, the reason why it's important is expectation.
Yeah.
So setting an expectation, it's like a television show back in the day in the 90s when you used to, hey, this main show was on at 8:30. You knew it was going to be on. You knew it was going to be there. It was going to show up every day. And it's the same with social. If people can't rely on you, they're a little less inclined to follow or to really engage with your content. And they don't really care, because if you're just sporadically posting, then you're not really giving them anything to look forward to or that they can count on, particularly if it's, whatever the niche is, particularly if it's more value-driven content, which is something that the four of us all here really focus on. That's something that's really important to everything that we do. So I think that would probably be the primary reason. Is there anything else you could add to that?
Yeah, I think in the end, it's almost like, if we put it into like an analogy, it's like going to the gym. So it's like, if you need to put in the reps, you need to put in the reps to understand, one, to grow, to hit your goals, and generally speaking. But if you don't try things for a consistent period of time, you'll never know what's working and what's not working. So if I went to the gym for 2 weeks and I was like, listen, man, I don't got biceps now. I worked out 8 times. and somehow the biceps are here. It's not working. You need to understand and refine and refine and refine, and that only comes with volume. You need to repeat and do things multiple times over and over again, so that you can start understanding, like, okay, when I do this, when I post a carousel, it seems like I'm getting more saves, than when I do. So let me try doing that for a little bit, or leaning in. But if you're just sporadically going to the gym or sporadically posting, you're not going to see the results that you want. So that consistency is key with everything in life. You consistently save in order to purchase a home. All these things are like, you need to do the action over and over and over again, so that one, you can get the result you want, but refine along the way if you're not getting the results that you want. So yeah.
I, I love the fact that you use that analogy with the gym, because I like to joke around and say it doesn't matter what gains you're going for, whether it's muscles or followers, you got to put in those reps. So I
See?
love that
Love
analogy
it.
with the gym.
Yep.
Love
Awesome.
it.
So Megan, I gotta ask you as well in regards to this whole concept of consistency. What role does consistency play in your own strategy towards gaining followers, and how do you stay consistent with your own posting schedule?
Yeah, so I think that it's important to note that consistency is going to look different for everybody, and consistency does not mean every single day, multiple times a day. Right? Sometimes people are like, "Oh my gosh, consistent! I have to show up all the time," and that's not true. Your schedule and your consistent will be different from mine, be different from everybody here on the screen, be different from another business that you know or brand. We're all different based on our goals and what's actually something we can stick to, because we don't want to be consistent for a week. We stick to that schedule, that strategy, and then next week something happens and we're unable to. We have to have the back end, the strategy, the system set in place to allow us to be able to stay consistent with what we have set for ourselves. And the reason why somebody who shows up 3 times a week and then somebody that shows up 7 times a week both can be successful is because, like it was already stated here, it's about training your people. Like, they can rely on you and your algorithm, so it can rely on you to show up. And I like to think of like the compound effect, kind of going back to the gym analogy there. And the compound effect is a book by Darren Hardy, and it really goes into play for everything in life. The more you show up, the more momentum you're going to get, and the better you're going to get, and the more wins you're going to have. And you know what? The more losses, but you're going to learn from them, right? So you're going to be able to analyze, just like Tiffany was saying, and you can really take all of that and run even more. You'll get better at it. You'll get faster at it. You'll be able to up that consistency a little bit more. So for myself, when it comes to sticking to my schedule, it's been different throughout many different parts of my journey. And in the beginning, it was a lot more frequent. I believe that when you're first starting out, you've got to really show people, I've got some stuff here. And again, I don't say that to scare people who are like, "Oh, I'm just starting, I can't." Like, that's okay. Start with what you can do. But if you can push yourself a little bit further, you want to just do a little bit more in the beginning, so you can really train your people and have that bank of content. But for myself, right now, I'm staying pretty consistent with about 4 times a week. Yes, definitely posting. And then that fifth one is kind of like maybe I'll show up if I have it, if I have that great idea that came to me, or funny, relatable piece of content. But finding what works for you in your theme of life or your specific stage of life and making it work into your system as well.
I think that's so key what you just said in regards to making it work for you, finding what works on your level, because a lot of people try to force themselves into what they see everybody else do. If they see Gary Vee posting every day, they say, I could be like Gary Vee. Gary Vee got like 35 people and a half working for him, posting and scheduling and doing everything. So it's you got to realize you can't compete sometimes with certain other individuals. You should be focused on what you're capable of doing in regards to that. So I love the fact that you mentioned that. Um, yeah, so I want to kind of jump in regards to my aspect of that, because you shared that you post to the feed 4 days a week, and I kind of do the same as well in regards to my posting on Instagram. I also do it a lot in regards to IG stories. I post once a day, 6 days a week. Throughout, I skip Sundays, and then I post to my broadcast channel. I have 2 broadcast channels, and I post to each one of them twice a week. It's a lot going on. It's a busy schedule, but I try to stay consistent with it all, because my idea is that if I show up in some way, shape, or form, I'm helping to build brand awareness. my content is going out there. It's going to reach at least one person. I'm not looking to go viral. I'm looking to impact somebody with with my information, with what I'm able to share, as whether it's my experience through my content or maybe the way I said something. If I could impact somebody, then I think that counts as a win. And you kind of mentioned something there, Megan, in regards to losses. And I've always said it's a W and an L, but the L stands for lessons. I never look at it as a loss. I'm trying to learn from each and every one of these moments, whether it's, it's that post that nobody really saw. I look at it as, hey, what can I do different and how can I improve? But I can't do that if I'm not being consistent. If I'm not being consistent, then I'm posting once a week. I'm not putting in the reps like Tiffany stated, and I'm not learning. I'm not growing from that at all. So my consistency is pivotal towards this little app that I have on my phone that I like to use, just called Notes. And it's the most simplest thing that I have. I just pretty much outline all of those posts that I just said that I do, whether it's on broadcast channel, the feed posts, reels, all of that. I literally list it out on my notes and I have a little check mark. I enjoy hitting that check mark knowing that I finished it. I did it just a couple hours ago when I posted a reel before this live. And I was like, all right, great, done. On to the next task. Something as simple as that keeps me consistent. It keeps me moving forward, and I look forward to knocking off that check mark. But kind of in the same realm as Megan said, you got to find what works for you. Maybe the Notes app won't work for you, but if you could find something, whether it's simple and effective, I think that might be the next best thing that you can utilize in regards to helping you keep consistent. So, those are just a few tips that we've all just shared in regards to how to stay consistent. They're all different and they all work effectively for each and every one of us, but we all found our own very thing. And that's just kind of the way that it's going to work and it's how it should work for you as well, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I actually have a question now that you mentioned the Notes app is what you use. I use the Notes app sometimes too. I also use different tools like Xtiles or Notion or just like literally pen and paper. But I'm curious from High Season Co. and everyone in the audience, do you have a specific tool that you use for your strategy to keep you on track? Anything specific you like to use? Let us know. And
Yeah, so we have a few, depends. So for high season, we use Notion. So our agency to manage our own social media, we use Notion. So we work in there with our social media manager, Dan. And then when we're working with clients, our clients, we have a few various ways that we work with clients. So we have one where we're managing their social media, full social. So that we actually use in terms of presenting to them what the month's going to look like and what the quarter's going to look like. We use Google Slides. So we have like a slide template that has like what the pillar is, what the format's going to be, what the context is going to be before we write the caption so they know, and what the asset should look like or what we're sketching out for the asset. So that's all done in slides and we keep everything in there. And then the designers, we kind of work in the slides too from that side. And then we schedule in Sprout Social. If we're working with a social media manager, so we also train and lead social media managers that work in-house at their company, at like another company. They all use slides too, so because we work and they present to us, and then we go through and we check everything out, and they schedule mostly later. Feels like almost everyone uses later.
Yeah, we
Right,
used to do all the reviews in later.
Yeah.
Like if they're writing the captions and then we review it, but then they move
Okay.
to slides and end up being a lot easier
Yeah,
for everybody.
because then you just like immediately like they link the Canva or they link whatever is in there, and we're just like, okay, cool, this and this. We can go into
Yeah.
Canva and change something or review it there, so it's nice in that way too. But I think slides for social media managers, if there's a social media manager watching, that's super underrated because like you can build once you have the template, you can build that everything out that you need on there to show to clients, and
It's
then
pretty easy.
they can leave comments. It's so simple, so really like it
And we
for that.
also sell one. We sell like a content tracker. So
Yes.
it's just a spreadsheet, just a Google sheet
Yeah,
that we sort of made and sort of took from one that we used to use
yeah,
and then made it better. So
Yeah.
like, with little pivot tables, you can drop down, select your pillars, you can put the caption for each platform.
Yeah.
You got ideas, you got hashtag banks, all these different things
yeah.
that yeah, it's another alternate way if that isn't the best move.
that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. I mean, I've never heard of someone using Google Slides for it. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard of people using like Google Sheets. I used
Yeah.
to have one in there. But that's cool. That's awesome. Thank you. I saw some people say Trello, Canva. That's what I
Astronomy.
Yeah, Trello's like Asana too, and kind of like Notion too, right?
Yeah.
It's Trello, but I know it's like
Everybody's on Notion. I feel like I haven't made that move yet. I don't know what's holding me back.
You need to check it out. Notion's really, really good. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I literally have it on my desktop, open on my browser, and I'm like, I want to check out the AI. 'Cause I've seen some of the AI features that they have partnered with it. And I'm like, that looks really incredible. But then I'm like, I'm just so simple and basic. Notes works been working for me.
Yeah.
Most of the apps on my phone, I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it just happens to
I mean,
work.
you gotta also find like putting to like, okay, so using certain tools at certain parts of your strategy. So like I'll use Styles, which is like a Notion alternative for my big overview of like monthly planning and strategy. But then day to day, I go to my notes app and I have it like copy pasted. I can check, and like I'm not gonna open up Styles every single day and go and check it. So
yeah. I love notes though. Notes I use for everything in life at all times. It's like even though I don't even write captions in Notion, I write captions in notes and then paste them into Notion. There's something about notes that
I know.
you have an idea and you write it down and you always like, yeah, it's just so perfect.
Or to copy and paste it, because it's already, if you write it on the computer, on the Mac, then on
Yeah.
the phone, it's already there, so you can just copy and paste it. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apple hack.
Yeah, different tools.
I got
for the process. I love that. That's a great way to look at it.
Exactly.
I got a shout out to Laura in the comments. She probably named the best app that you could use. I don't know if you could use it as a tool, but maybe inspiration perhaps. She said the Bible app. I don't think anybody's going to argue against that one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at it in that aspect. So shout out to you, Laura. But yeah, if I had to choose a tool, it's a tool that most people are not familiar with. Sketch. I think it's a Mac only tool, and it's really for if you're designing websites and apps. But I've actually been using it to design most of my content on Instagram, and it's been working with no problems for as long as I remember. I used to specialize in building websites, so I was used to it, and I just continued doing it. I have all of my friends that tell me I should move the Canva. I'm just like, but this works. Like I could see my entire week of content on it, and it just works for me. So it is what it is. But everybody has their own special tools that they like to specialize and utilize. So it keeps you consistent with your content, and it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you have a few ideas from what we are suggesting to you guys as well. And thank you all for some of the answers in the chat. I see you guys are kind of discussing a few others as well. So thank you guys very much for that. Before we go to our second question for our conversation here, all about to get your next or first 1,000 Instagram followers. I want to kind of remind you guys, what you guys are watching. This is the Social Roundtable, a weekly live series on YouTube with myself and Meagen. We like to come together and discuss some of the latest topics that you are most interested in, and that includes social media, Instagram, and more. And we like to bring on guests, and today we are joined by the High Season Co. High Season Co. I don't know why I just added a the. But if you are not following them just yet, you can obviously fix that and follow them from now on with the links in the bottom at the description of this video as well. I'm going to see if I can get it here on the screen. So you can follow myself, you can follow High Season, you can also follow Social Media with Meg. That you could get much more information in regards to all of the content, all of the information that we're talking about right now, and more when you follow us on Instagram and YouTube, respectively. And one of the best ways that you can actually do this, I'm going to see if I can get it on the screen. I have a QR code right now that if you scan it, if you're not watching it on the phone, if you watch this on TV, or if you're watching this on a tablet or your computer, I have a QR code right now on the screen. Go ahead and scan that QR code, and you're going to get or meet my chatbot, Brad. It's going to take you to Instagram, and it's going to give you more information and details all about this episode and more, including a couple freebies for myself and Meagen if you're interested to get that. So go ahead. I'll give you a moment to take that, to scan that QR code as we get ready for our next question, our last question. If you guys have any questions, please send them into the live chat. Angela, our moderator, if you guys are still behaving in the live chat, she will probably shout your question out so that we can answer it if you have any. And we're going to move over to that next question. So I think it was Craig that answered first between you two.
Yes.
And the first one. All right. So I'm going to go to you first then, Tiffany.
There we go.
So we're going to lead off to the main question that everybody wants to know about. We're going to talk about a few tips in regards to how to grow on Instagram. So let's get into it. I want to share a little bit of information though, because there's something special about your first 1,000 followers, or even any set of followers that you might have gained with acquiring them in a certain way, whether it was a specific task that you may have did or a technique or strategy. Now, there's more than one way to get 1,000 followers to take a specific action. We're going to discuss some of the ways we were able to accomplish this milestone, whether at the beginning of our journey or today. I want to read out a stack here that might kind of change the tone a little bit, but we have to have an understanding of where Instagram is at the moment. According to Social Insider, Instagram has a 16% year over year decrease in engagement between 2023 and 2024. I think everybody here on the screen could agree that things have changed on Instagram in regards to Instagram growth. Um,
For
it's
sure.
not that easy to get people to hit that follow button as it used to be. It seemed almost like too easy back in the good old days, especially when Reels was first introduced. We were getting followers left and right, but things have changed. I believe it's a lot more of the user audience that has changed and certain other aspects of Instagram. Nonetheless, like I stated earlier, it's not impossible. So I'm going to ask you, Tiffany, what was or is the most effective strategy you used to gain your first 1,000 followers, or any set at any point in time during your journey on Instagram to get that certain amount on Instagram?
Yeah, no, this is a really good question. And I think it's so interesting because, as you mentioned, Instagram is just changing all the time. And we've grown accounts for people at different times and different phases
Mm,
of Instagram, the platform. So when we're thinking about when we started our accounts in February of 2014 or November of 2014
that's
was
one.
the first time that we started our account. That was just pure consistency and engagement. And that was like back in the day where it was just like, hey, we're all talking, which is actually the fundamental and still true to this day, which is like we were going out there and we were building relationships and talking to people. So we knew the audience that we wanted, and we were like, we're going to consistently show up for them. And we're also going to not only just consistently show up, but engage with people and make sure that we're creating those relationships. So we created a lot of relationships. One of our first clients that led us to Sony was
Mm,
actually from an Instagram post that was just like cheeky, that and from like us seeing another brand that we liked and going back and forth and talking to each other, and then they ended up referring us to that client in the end. So it was like just those real relationships that we were building. And then things continue to evolve over time. I think content really changed. So in the end, like for us and for a lot of our clients, we really focus on value driven content.
yeah.
So really making sure that you're giving someone something in exchange for like what is not as easy to come by as it was back in the day, which before it was
Mhm.
just like, okay, yeah, follow, follow, follow. Now it's kind of like, okay, well, the algorithm's going to show me anything that I want technically. So like someone really has to give you a
Yeah.
reason to be like, oh, I don't want to miss out on this content. Like I really
Mm,
want to make sure that I catch it. And that's why it's also very important to stay consistent, I would say, on stories too, because in the end you want to make sure that that's a really good connection piece, like outside of the feed, to make sure that you're nurturing the audience that you already have. So it's one thing to get them to follow, but you should consistently show up not only in feed but in stories to make sure you're able to continuously nurture that relationship. So that's something where it's like not enough to post on feed, like you need to be engaging, you need to be DMing and having those conversations. And you really need to be thinking of your audience as not 1,000 followers, it's 1,000 true people, like true humans
Hmm.
that you should be wanting to have conversations with, that you should be wanting to build relationships and build that trust with, so that they decide to convert to whatever offer you have with you versus anyone else. Because the follower is just a follower, but it doesn't mean anything in the end if it doesn't convert to the thing that you're
facts.
trying to do with what you have. So that's also super important as well.
I love the fact that you said that in regards to um, the IG story aspect, because a lot of people, let's be real, you can't get followers from IG stories, but it helps you keep the ones that you currently have. Sometimes people are so focused on getting more followers, getting more followers, getting more followers. You kind of ignore the ones that you currently have, and then they feel like you're just pushing them to the wayside. Um, Craig, I'm wondering if you had anything else that you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I think it's like there's essentially like a paradigm shift that Instagram is going through. Like Tiff was saying, we're all in the beginning. You sort of obsessed with followers because that's how you saw content. But now, because of the AI suggestions, it's not like we have a dog. You can there he is, and we get a lot of dog content on fed to us individually. But we realized this the other day, like we don't really follow any of those accounts because I'm like, it's gonna keep giving me dog content, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
There's like one little dog who kind of looks like ours. He got a multi poo, so I remember we both followed him because he's really cute. He's got regular, but he's regular content. Well, him, I guess it's his mum or dad, but the dog's always turning up. So yes, I really think that's important. But also, like, I think it's almost like unhealthy to get too worried about followers when it's just the behaviors have changed. So I think we all need to, and I mean every one of us, because all four of us here have also came up in the time when followers were the only thing that matters. But like I wouldn't like put all the focus on it, but it's coming back to what Tiff said about that delivering like insane outweighing value, like value beyond anything that you can give people, like that almost feels like I should be selling this, like you should be sort of questioning yourself. That's how much value that you're given. And it seems once again like a basic thing, but we've been really trying to do that. We have our membership channel on YouTube as well, and we price that at such a low price point that, you know, and for what they get for it is so outweighed that it's like we feel like that is how you're going to stand out, because we actually care about the people. So it's, you got to care about the audience, like you said, man, that people feel like your existing followers might feel like they're being ignored because you're just chasing that next one. So serve them the best you can, give as much insane amount of value as possible, and be consistent. If you do all of those things, that will get people wanting to not miss out. As Tiff said, like they're going to want to hit the follow button because they don't want to rely on the AI suggestions. They want to make sure that you see the content. The only other thing I would add, which is probably speaking to your passion, Heston, is the chatbot. So ManyChat is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to Instagram, I would say. And once you're, maybe even if you're getting, you don't have to have like tons of followers for it to work, but just those CTAs and at the very, just the simplest use of ManyChat, which, you know, comment a word and you get the DM. You're showing up in stories every day, and then you're able to get people in the DMs via automation. They're going to be served your stories every day. You're going to stay top of mind to them. And then that will also help with the feed posts as well. So sort of leveraging the tools. I won't say too much because I imagine you probably want to touch on them more. But I feel like
no. You're good. You're good. I love it. I wasn't going to share that one, but that's a good point. And something that I noticed that you guys are discussing, or I should say, there's two words that I'm noticing that you guys are floating around. It's being social and serving. And I think most people don't realize that you should be doing both if you want to actually build a community, because that's what a community is about. You're socializing with others and you're serving their needs to some degree. That it's kind of, it goes back and forth because they do the same for you in a certain way as well. So I love the fact that you guys are kind of talking about that type of aspect in regard to the strategy. Meagen, how about? Sure.
So sorry, I just want to say, because I know we're saying that too, and people are like, but tell me what the 1,000 followers, just tell me the stuff as well. And I just want to emphasize, it's really going to come down to having a consistent, intentional strategy. So knowing why you're on the platform, what you're hoping to achieve, and then doing the actions towards your goal. So not just focusing on the 1,000 followers, focusing on the actions every day that will help you grow your audience in general, and the 1,000 will come as a result. So that's the one thing, which is stay consistent, have your content pillars ready, make sure that when you have your audience, you know who they are and you're speaking directly to them. If you do not have content pillars created, that is one of the biggest like misses that you'll have in terms of being able to show up intentionally. Are we able to share we have a free content pillars framework. Maybe like if you DM us pillars on Instagram, it'll send to you automatically, actually. So there you go. But basically that pillars framework will allow you to go through and make sure that every post has a purpose, that it's attached to your audience, that the topics are relevant, and that they ladder back up to your goals, because that's the number one thing. Otherwise, you're just posting to post and everybody can feel that it's disjointed like that, and you'll never grow that way. So that's a big part, is like knowing what you're doing and why. That's the big part of it. So yes.
That's
awesome. I love that.
So important. I mean, because you're right. Everyone wants to know those specific things, like what can I actually do? And really, you have to know the purpose behind your post and following that strategy consistently to be able to analyze and make changes when needed. So that was a really important ad. Thank you for that.
And I just want to say thank you, Angela, in the comments. She's actually shouted out your program as well. So you guys could get some information from Angela to link out to. Yeah, Angela don't play. Angela don't play. She's quick with it. So thank you, Angela, for helping out in regards to that. Yeah. So Meagen, did you have anything else you wanted to add as well?
Gosh, well, because it really is about that overall consistency, and showing up to analyze, make changes as you need to, and reminding yourself of your overall goal every day, and connecting to that one person, right? People, not just numbers. All of those things that we've stated so far. Some actionable things that you could take away would be to start a series that's personal to you, that's unique to you. So not just like I'll say I actually did this. I did Instagram tips part 1 through whatever 100, but that was like 2 years ago, right? That stuff back then really was crushing it. Still will do okay, but what I'm talking about is the more personalized journey, the one that's like, watch me lose 100 pounds, or come along on my journey while I hit X amount of figures in my business. And you're showing them either day in, day out, or week by week, your ups, downs, strategies, etc. Because who was it that said it earlier? Like you're seeing dogs, but you're not necessarily following. Oh yeah, yes, okay, exactly. Right. So if it's not personal, it's just a fun fact, great, that anyone could Google that, then I don't care to follow, because it might be cool, but I want to know your journey. So if you are a personal brand, or you are a brand that has a face somewhere, to be able to show that in a content original series would be really, really helpful for quick action steps that you could take. And honestly, it's going to be different for every niche, but that could be really, really effective right now. People are loving the story that goes behind it, and it makes them feel connected to the person, not just the facts that are getting spit out to them in posts.
Yeah, I think you touched on something too in regards to, because it kind of relates to the whole AI aspect of, just being able to get whatever information we want, whether from AI, from Google. We don't want that anymore, as you kind of stated. We want something a little bit more real, a little bit more personal, because we could just chat GPT most of this stuff nowadays and get it quicker, faster. We want to deliver something a little bit more authentic and connects that audience member to us, correct?
Right, exactly. And they might like that post. They might save that post. They might send that post, like the fact one they could Google, or they might comment on it, but they might not follow because they don't have a reason to continue, because they're going to see a similar style post tomorrow on their Explore page. So that journey, that signature series helps them say, oh, I want to follow them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I actually kind of just started one of my own series as well. I should say 4, but they're all around the same topic of many chat. So I'm testing that theory out myself as well. But I think that's a really great addition to, in regards to tips and strategies to help you grow your following. I'm going to lead off with the last one. I should say finish off with the last one. But before I do, oh, I clicked the wrong button there. Before I do, just want to remind you guys, if you guys have not done it yet, please remember to hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. If you're looking to get more information from us, hit the subscribe button, as well as like this video. Yeah, I know you guys are laughing. Like, I gotta get used to this now.
No, I love it. I love it. You're such a YouTuber.
I gotta get used to this. So please, guys, if you guys are watching, getting any value, getting any insight from this conversation, please, we do this every week on Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and Megan, and we always bring in great guests like we have today with High Season Co. So hit the subscribe button, like this video, and like I stated earlier, we do have all of our respective links in the description. So please go ahead and check that out and follow us there as well. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an actionable tip of something that I could definitely relate to. It is something that we are actually doing right now, even though it's on YouTube. Collaborations. Collaborations are, to me, next level. I've been doing them probably since I had 100 followers. I'll do them until I have, I don't know, 100,000 followers. And I could probably tell you, if I ever get to that point, it'll be the collaborations mostly that probably were the ones that got me to that level, because collaborations, to me, it's like word of mouth shout outs from another person that is respective to their audience. And if their audience sees them saying, hey, go ahead and give this friend a shout out, because they work with them in some form of way on Instagram, whether it's a collaborative reel, whether it's a IG live where it's multiple people on it. That's one of those individuals saying, I approve this person. I I promote them, and you should be following them as well. And I look at that. I mean, there's no other better form of marketing than word of mouth, right? And this is just word of mouth digitally, but it's in the form of a shout out from one person to another. So I love the idea of collaborations. It's also a great opportunity for you to kind of get to know, like, and trust somebody else through someone else that you already know, like, and trust. So there's so many different factors at play here. As long as it's a collaboration that it works with you in regards to that person's audience. If I specialize in, if I'm a photographer, maybe my audience isn't well, photographer might be kind of hard. That's a bad one to use. But if I specialize in one type of industry that is completely not relative to my other potential collaborators' audience, it might not work and gel as much as if it was an audience that could kind of relate to that interest. So make sure you're choosing the right people to collaborate with. I think that's really key. You don't want to just say yes to every type of collaboration that comes near you or to you, but collaboration is definitely next level. To me, it increases your brand awareness, akin to a shout out, and sometimes it can be really viral. I've had an experience where somebody has shouted me out in their IG stories. They mentioned me by IG stories, and overnight I grew 1,200 followers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it could definitely happen. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it. You just kind of got to play it smart. So that would be my answer to that one. So there you guys go. We giving you guys different tips and strategies on how to gain your next 1,000 followers. And if you don't have 1,000 followers yet, these tips should probably help push you to that next level. So we hope that you utilize what we're stating here. And as I always say, take it and step your gram up. We're going to move over now to our little trivia game that Meagen is going to host. You guys that are watching, you have an opportunity to join in as well. So I'll lead it to now you, Meagen.
Awesome. All right. So it's a very easy game of would you rather. I'm going to name off two options. Would you rather A or B? And then we will start here just on screen. Whoever wants to shout out first, High Season Co. will go to you. Choose who wants to go first there. And then Heston and everybody in the comments, if you want to play along, we love it if you add your A or B or type it out in the comments. So number one, would you rather have your biggest competitor promote your content positively, or B, gain free access to their strategy and analytics?
B.
Okay.
Shout out is one
You said that
thing,
really
but
quick.
I'd
Yeah.
much rather work through. I love seeing the inside. I want to see the systems. I want to see what processes you're using. I want the blueprint. So one shout out, like that's fine, like that's awesome. But I rather see the whole game plan and see everything that's going on in the back end, so I can replicate it for my business. So yes, I would rather, if I was a jewelry brand, I'd rather see everything Tiffany and Co. is doing versus them just be like, hey, here's another cute jewelry brand, top 5 jewelry brands, and they say, hey, this one too. Like I want the inside scoop. I want all.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Would you agree?
I'll just to be contrarian, I'll go A, because if it kind of comes to the collaboration point, like if they shout you out and maybe you never spoke before, but you just know they're your biggest competitor, then maybe you can form a relationship and then you can get that information in the strategy in a deeper, more meaningful way rather than just seeing it on paper. You can actually talk with someone, maybe if they're in your city, meet up and just sort of build that relationship as opposed to being adversarial. You could be kind of become friends and work together in some shape or form, or at the very least someone that you admire if they're your biggest competitor, even if you admire may not be the best word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If they're doing well, yeah. If they're your competitor, then I'm sure there's something that you can learn from them over and above just seeing their strategy on paper.
You're like gaming the system in the most authentic and genuine way. You're like,
I
no,
know,
I
right?
really want to make a relationship, but I could have both. I love that. Yeah, for sure. Heston, what would you say?
But first off, to everybody that's in the live chat, I just actually pinned a message from Angela. She shared the question, so it's pinned now. You can actually answer as well. We want to share. We want to see what you guys are sharing. I'm gonna have to say I'm a little bit nosy. I want to see the analytics. Show me the data of my competitor. 'Cause I want to see what works and what doesn't, and then I could actually possibly consider doing something myself. I'm not gonna copy. I'm not going to copy. I'm not saying copy. I'm saying I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to use the Instagram format. Instagram is always inspired by other platforms. So I'm going to use that concept and be inspired by Instagram on that level. I mean, by my competitor on that level, and hopefully that they, learn something new from it.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. Thank you for your answers there. I see lots of B's in the chat. I do see an A by Hello Awesome. I'm Mr. Moot, says B. Greg, hey, what's up? We say B. Awesome. Thank you guys. I guess I have to say probably A, because I would rather have that connection and really also I love like the positive feedback just feels good to me more than strategy. So not gonna lie, I'm there. So but thank you for playing along with that one. The second question is, would you rather A, sit down and have a cup of coffee to ask all of your questions to the head of Instagram, or B, the head of YouTube?
Ooh, YouTube for sure.
Yeah, I was like, I like to jump in.
Whoa,
YouTube.
you guys didn't even think. Yeah, you guys didn't even delay on that one.
Yeah,
Like Maseri's on daily basis.
yeah, he's there.
I don't know.
I know.
Are you saying you're tired of seeing Moseri?
No.
he's
I'm
I mean, he's already there.
He's
Like,
already there.
He's
Shouts to
a
Adam.
creator. He's already
He's
a
awesome.
fantastic creator and value
We
led.
need like Adams in every platform.
Yeah.
But we don't have that.
Mm.
And
I agree.
I don't even know who the head of YouTube is.
It was like
at this
after
point.
Susan
Yeah.
left, I actually don't even know who's the head of YouTube after her.
But
I mean,
you know I
that's-
looked that up, right? You know I got the name right.
Wow,
Oh, you
yeah,
know
what's
it?
the
Who
name?
is
Who is it?
Neil Mohan. I don't remember what position he had prior, but he had originally worked with YouTube prior. He was one of the execs, one of the higher up execs, and he got promoted after she left. Neil Mohan.
Neil
Okay.
Mohan. All
Yeah,
right.
I didn't know the name either, and so I was like, I'm not even gonna say Adam or the head. I was like, they're just the head.
Whoever it may or may not be. I feel like Instagram is one of the coolest things about it, as frustrating as it can be, and we're all aware of that, is that level of transparency from Adam. Like the dude who's running it, giving information that is sometimes vague, but at the very least, they're announcing changes and all these type of things. It's so much appreciated. And we're super passionate about YouTube, and there's just a bunch of questions. We went to a YouTube event in Toronto last like November or something, and we met one of the partner managers. We don't have one, but we met. And I was like, oh, I got two questions. How do you get a partner manager? And if you're going to do a podcast, do you put it on the main channel or do you put it on another channel? And I kind of got the answers, but I wish they would be, it was still a little vague for me. And I wish they would be someone like Adam that would put that information out there, because YouTube has a little more impact, I guess, because of the immediate AdSense revenue that you can get pretty early on compared to, say, something like Instagram. So it would be super nice if they were...
And they're trying a bit with their programs. Like we're in a shorts
shorts
program with them, and you get to do like little Q&As and stuff like that. But
That's
I want to
just
sit down
shorts.
and have dinner.
Yeah.
That's all. I want to sit and talk. List of questions.
Definitely. Awesome. Heston, what would you say?
This is a real hard one for me because it's kind of, as you said, Craig, we see Moseri all the time, so it's almost like he's a friend of ours in a way. Like I got to know him, and I agree. He has a very hard job in regards to what he does. He puts himself out there. He knows it, that he's going to get a lot of the hate. I think I might choose him though. I feel like I might have more of an interesting conversation with him in regards to the platform and outside of the platform. I don't know Neil. No disrespect to Neil. I don't know him that well to say I might have similar interests with Neil compared to Adam. Like Adam, I know he uses Instagram the way we suggest. Be authentic, show your family. He travels. He shows his work. He shows his other interests, and a lot of it I could vibe with. There was one point in time where I saw him playing with Legos with his kids, and I don't know if you guys can see behind me. I got like a bunch of Legos, so that's at least one thing I could kind of I don't know. I think Moseri, hit me up on the phone. Let me know. We could chat. We could have coffee. We could hang out.
I love it. Oh, how cool would it be if this actually happened, guys? I think I would say Instagram too, just because even though it is incredible that Adam is always on sharing these things, I just feel like there's some little tidbits I still could get one-on-one from him. Like, no, I need to know specifically. Look at mine. What would you do with this? But yeah, it's hard toss up. Thank you everyone for playing along there.
These are good questions.
Yeah,
this is fun.
Awesome. And I see we definitely got a lot of people that were going with YouTube. A lot of people did say YouTube in regards to this answer. So I think a lot of people maybe there's a little bit of mystery then. People don't know who Neil is, and maybe that might be working for him in that favor in a way. I know they have a YouTube liaison. I forgot his name at the moment, but he kind of was supposed to be the person that represents the creators.
Probably the one on the creators channel, like the guy.
I believe,
yeah, but he's not like he's not like making shorts all the time or doing all that.
Yeah,
It's so different.
Yeah.
No, that's still great. But thank you guys so much for all of your answers. I'm looking to see if Oh, okay. We got a question, and this is directly to Tiffany and Craig. Where do your lovely guests hail from? They want to know where you guys are from.
Oh, so we're from just outside of Toronto. So hi. So we live just outside of Toronto, but right now we're hailing from Florida, from lovely
Yes.
South Florida.
The
Oh, are you
west.
close to me? Oh my gosh, I got
Where
it.
do you live?
I'm in Sarasota.
Oh, you're
Okay.
the other side. We're in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep. I
Okay.
didn't know the Sarasota part.
Someone
We're
messaged
gonna
you
look
earlier.
around a little bit more. We're gonna go around a
Yeah.
little bit. Basically trying to avoid the winter. It was -20 where we lived. So we
Mhm.
I'm so jealous right now. Everybody's in warmer weather,
you
and
know
I'm supposed to be getting snow.
yeah, it's been a lot of that. So yeah.
It was a rough winter. As
Yeah.
soon as December hit, we're just like, nope. We
We're
just
leaving.
we're out of here. We've already been here a couple days, and just my skin's already cleared up.
You feel hydrated.
I'm like, people live like this year
I'm like, I
round.
can't
man.
believe
Like,
you guys do this all the time. But this is
I
just
know that's why we're always so happy.
I know. See?
everyone is so nice.
And sun-kissed.
I think that's why
It's
everyone
great.
is insanely nice. Like
Yeah.
we've been here before, but geez.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
Shouts
But
to
yes, that's
Florida.
the answer.
Canada's cool, but shouts to Florida.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we know where everybody is from. I'm in Jersey, in case you guys are wondering, where it's nice and chilly, but I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to book my ticket to Florida at the end of this live. Um, I don't see any other questions at the moment, so I think we're all good for questions. So I think it's a good time for us to kind of start signing off now. And what I would like to do is give Tiffany and Craig a moment once again to share who they are for those that may have came on late, but also share or plug anything that you may have going on or upcoming at the moment.
Awesome. No, thank you. And really, really, really enjoyed this. I love this conversation. I love the roundtable. But
That's fun.
essentially, yeah, we're High Season Co. We're a social media agency. We help business owners and creators, thrive online by equipping them and empowering them with the tools and the strategies that they need. Although we do work with brands, so we do offer full service. We are looking at this from the online education perspective to make sure there are less barriers financially to getting the support that you need to thrive. So we also have a membership channel here on YouTube. We're actually going live at 4 p.m. in our membership channel, so it's a big live day today. And in
You
there
guys are
we
busy.
do live, in there we do live Q&As. We also do live profile reviews. So we review your profile, we'll audit it, we'll tell you the best tips. We review content together.
Custom
We review
reviews,
Canva together, like
trainings.
Canva files. We do trainings. So we did a full live training on how to do your content pillars, for example. We give out resources every single month, like templates as well. We do interviews in there, which we got to talk about an interview again. That we all should talk again about doing something fun there too. But
that's great.
yeah, our membership channel I'd say is the greatest value that you can get, where you can get this high touch support from us, where we sit and we answer every question. We don't stop the live until every question's answered. Sometimes they've been 3 hours because of that, but that's what we're
Whoa.
here for, is to do that. So yeah, I would say that. Anything
That's the
else?
main thing. And we have, on the website, we have a digital store. So we have a bunch of the templates. So if you're a member, you get them for free.
Mhm.
But they're on a store, they're paid products. So that's also the value I was referring to earlier about the members, and it's only $4.99 a month
Mhm.
through YouTube. It all connects directly to it. So the digital products have been really great. They've been stuff that we've got good feedback on from people as well. So it's just helpful, simple things that are going to make running social media a little bit easier for you. Yeah, and of course, YouTube's our primary thing. YouTube and Instagram are our main two stuff. So we've got a ton of free content on there. That you want to know what's up?
So much free
Put it up.
content. Just check out the Instagram beginners playlist. Honestly, that's a great place to start for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I definitely suggest that you guys do that immediately after this live, because they definitely have a lot of content. Like I stated, I've been following you guys. I don't even know how long it's been now. It's probably been like 5-7 years
That's
that
so
I've been
cool.
following High Season. So definitely I love your content, and definitely will hope for you guys that are watching to go ahead and check them out. Once again, their link is in the description for YouTube and Instagram. So go ahead and check that out. Meagen, what's going on in hot Florida? What are you up to? I'm just jealous of all that. I saw Craig's IG. I just want to say, I saw Craig's IG story today, and he was outside
Yeah.
walking his pup. And I'm like, I can't even go outside without a jacket on right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have shorts on. That's
I
so
know.
weird.
What a weird
I know. Oh, well, you guys can find me here on YouTube, starting some more stuff up here for longer form pretty soon. But right now, just some repurposed stuff from Instagram and the lives here with Heston. And then on Instagram is my main platform where you can find me, Social Media with Meg, sharing tons of free content there around tips, strategy, also just funny, relatable things that we all struggle with when it comes to Instagram. So we can all feel like, okay, I'm not the only one. And in there, you can find my Instagram growth checklist and lots of fun digital downloads that you can get within my storefront.
And you can also get that checklist, the freebie, using this QR code that's on the screen if you guys want to scan it to get access to her freebie. I have a freebie as well. What you're going to get is when you scan this QR code, my chatbot Brad is going to introduce himself and give you a couple options, including details on this very live. So you could always watch a replay or catch some of the other videos that we've done before in the past as well. So thank you very much. Hi, season Tiffany and Craig for joining us today on this incredible episode of the Social Roundtable. It's not the first time you've been here, and I'm hoping it is not the last. Now that we've made the official move to YouTube, things are a little bit different, but hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself and we will see you in the future. For those that are watching, I am Heston of Social Varsity. You can always catch me at social.varsity on Instagram and Threads. We haven't even mentioned Threads. I love Threads, but you can catch me on both of those as well. And of course, YouTube. Once again, because it just came to mind, hit that subscribe button and like this video to get more information and stay up to date on latest episodes of the Social Roundtable. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us today. And we will see you on Monday next week with a brand new guest and a brand new topic. Talk to you guys later. Until then, bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us. Bye, everyone.
Cheers, cheers.
Bye. All right. That was a great episode. We are
Awesome.
officially.
That's it, guys.
That was cool. I love this. You guys are great always. You're so like on point. It's awesome. It's good.
Yeah,
Everything's
so
Thank
so
you very much. Thank you.
Angela in the comments and stuff, and like having you both. I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's got a
you
nice
got a good
little
system.
thing, and you guys